this new development in the state of Maharashtra, they may not be aware of. The four leading institutions, the Institute of Science, Socleen College, Municipal College, and Institute of Education, they have been into cluster university, and the oldest institution gets birth in the form of the university, and that is most premier institution. In fact, that Institute of Science was established with the motto to address scientific problems of the Western India, not only Mumbai. And so Professor Kamath is now the first regular Vice Chancellor of this university, and has a great responsibility on him. The institute where Dr. Homi Bhabha studied, and you can understand many more discoveries were made there. I will not go into that. For other distinguished guests, special guest Professor A.B. Pandit, Vice Chancellor of ICT University, which was an UD which was a part of the university, which was housed in the Institute of Science. And so this good coincidence that the two Vice Chancellors, brother Vice Chancellors. So when Professor Kamath took over, first thing I did that I brought him here, invited after they knew each other. And I said, this is the institution, the ICT. These are the world class now. So they will help us in mentoring the development of new university. And so today we are so lucky that we could get both of them to be here for this function. Friends, I welcome you all, the distinguished delegates, many of them the engineers, and we have kept this conference limited to Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority and the MMR region, because we are in the urban area, most of us, and we know situations. We can see the piling of the heaps of the waste, and such an important city, globally important. So people like those who are working with society for clean environment, we get very much disturbed, Why? When so many technologies are available worldwide, as we see under Socleen and Waste to Energy Research and Development Council, so we got again awakened, I said, let's take up this issue and sensitize this. Socleen, you can see that established in 1969. So I was telling to Dr. Dalvi that we are the one institution which was more sensitive to the environment, established first, which to make a lot of noise, real noise, not like today's noise people make in various organizations. And this was a society formed by the engineers, scientists from the BRC mainly, IIT and Institute of Science and ICT. So we were working relentlessly. We were training students at various institutions for the environmental issues. We used to take many projects also, water quality, air quality, everything. And so the regulations started following that. So except the Water Pollution and Prevention Control was Act, the Air Pollution Act came later on, Wildlife Protection Act came 1986, Environment Conservation came later on, and definitely the Waste Management Act came much later on, which is being now getting modified every year, 2000, 2004, 2006, 2010, 2016. So year after year, the modifications are coming into the municipal solid waste management. So Socleen, who make you aware of that kind of people involved, we say now that we don't have time for doing
major cities like Mumbai, but decentralization is one of the important aspects. Another is basically we have to start clean environment with me. Basically, we are giving knowledge to everybody, but we are not acting on our own. How many of here are having a 2 bin in their home?
Two? What is the important? 2 bin.
I think there are 50% are not having. So first you start the two-bin system at your home. Huh? You start the segregating plastic waste and other dry waste and wet waste. Number one, always we are saying katra wala, but katra wala is not katra wala, he is actually safai wala. Huh? We are katra wala. And everybody is pinpointing to the government authorities. It is not, it is a responsibility of the government authorities. Though no doubt it is a responsibility of the government authorities, but we have to also behave like our roles and responsibility as a good citizen. So decentralization approach is essential. I have given one example of Pune Municipal Corporation. So in MMRD area, there are Kalyan, Mirabhainder, Ulhasnagar, because our topic is in MMRD area. Decentralization system and future course of action in MMRD area. So in MMRD, I think Ulhasnagar, there is waste management. We know that from regulatory point of view, we are having data. Ulhasnagar is not having that much treatment of solid management. I think they are doing only 100 or 100. They are generating more than 600 metric tons per day. Mirabhainder is the same situation. Vasai Virar is also having the same situation. Thane, I think more than 1000 metric tons they are generating, but they are just treating only 200 to 300 metric tons. So this is the scenario. The Honorable NGT, the solid waste management rules initially enforced in 2000. After that, in 2016, they have superseded and the word has been removed. Municipal solid waste to solid waste management. So the solid waste की व्याप्ति जो है वो बढ़ गई. From 2000 onwards, we are not able to achieve the desired target for solid waste management. That is the actual scenario. In one of the NGT matters in 606 of 2018, the Honorable NGT has given what we call as, I am not saying penalized, but they have imposed the 12,000 crore for Maharashtra to create a separate ring fencing for forest management. Because still Maharashtra is, we are generating 23,000 metric tons solid waste from other local bodies. But we are still not achieving full entire 100% treatment collection. So decentralization approach is required. There is local participation is required, local bodies, and besides that, I think office I had today. Then municipal commissioner, I think Ajay Mehta sir, he took the advantage of the solid waste management rules. In solid waste management rule, there is one clause is there. If 100 kg per day solid waste is being generated from any society, or if the 5,000 sounds are residing in a society, in that case, it is the responsibility of that society. They have to treat their organic waste in situ in their premises. And because of that only, earlier the solid waste generated from Mumbai area was 12,000 metric ton, 10 to 12,000, now it is 6,000. So each and every society generating more than 100 kg, they have to strictly go for the in situ treatment. That is nothing but a decentralized treatment. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity, and I will request.
Clearly said, one of our systems which is used for composting should not be used where we don't have any yard waste kind of system, right? Because there may be some other operational issues in that, right? So we have to be very clear that we should know awareness has to be there, and we should actually, for the decentralized systems, I used to say also in my actually this interaction with MCPM, that we should identify the societies which are doing very well, and then they should actually come to spread awareness to the other societies. They should help actually how to do. This is not only about wet waste but also about the dry waste. And the other thing is, as much as you reduce at the source, actually you have more funds available to go for advancement at your centralized facilities, which is not like any city. It cannot have all the recycling at source also. So you have to have some centralized facility. But as he said, that there is in metro cities we have lack of space. Everywhere it is there, right? So that is actually then you need lesser land area as well as you can go for more advanced because now corporation has much more money which is saved from transportation. Actually, surprisingly, the transportation now probably it is reduced, but we are spending 70 to 80% of the funds, total funds, only transporting the waste and all, right? So there is actually, if you are using that fraction, then you have more money to go for much better processes also. So that is my submission. So there is already, I think that I agree with the point which you now.
Sanjay Kumar ji?
Yeah, I think a lot has already been spoken since morning. Just to add upon that, we have been talking of this particular sector as NIMBY, which is not in my backyard. The day we start changing it to SIMBY, that circularity is in my backyard, then the whole process gets changed. And why circularity? In morning also it was said that today we are having a workshop of various aspects.
And the space of there. In case of the Pune, they are the outskirts of the Pune. They are going for the. There are many 4 areas or all around the Pune we can go there. But in Mumbai case, we are at the constraints. We can go up to the creek level. That is the Kanjurmarg or Devnar or Mulund or here the earlier the Gorai like that. So that is the place over there. Earlier was in a Bandra also there, MMRD. So major thing is we have to decentralize the wet waste process. That is because once the wet waste is there, generate that is the biodegradation start itself their own. So that starts. So we have to add early as possible. We have to give the treatment for that. And for the wet waste, we require the compost plant or biomethanation plants. But small kind of the plants where still there universities are struggling with that the plants. Even though they are looking at the incubator type, whether the composting plant will come with along with the AI or IoT things along with that. So anybody can in our home we can have the compost plant that is automatically turning just like the washing machines. So that is a yet to develop that the plant is there. So today as far as possible there is a very crude process are available. Nobody having the time also to do the composting at home level. Once the home level over, then they at the society level by force. As earlier one of the speakers said that the bulk waste generator protocol that is already in the rule also. Even Swachh Bharat mission is also insisting the more than 100 kg waste including dry and wet waste generating. So their wet waste should be processed there at society level only or where the generator level only. So corporation issued the notices. They are struggling with that, whether our property tax will be appropriately, whether they are having a part of the SWM services or not, then that debate is going there. So that is there, where the concession to be given, even the corporation announced that they will give the incentivized or some concession in a property tax or that. But that how to do the mechanism and who will certify that, and that is a very big things are there, major things are there. Regarding the dry waste collection center, corporation, particularly as far as the MCGM is established, 42 plus dry waste collection center is there. But their efficacy is doubtful. Because not hardly 200 tons, not they are able to collect or they are able to recycle that. And once the waste comes to the dry waste collection and sorting center, the recycler, whatever they want, they get the benefit or whatever their recycler or kabadi wala there or linkages are there, that waste is going to in their hand. But rest of the waste, what happened to that? Whether that comes to again to the corporation streams. Even in the wet waste process also, what about the remaining or remnant of the rejects are there? Whether the corporation is collecting or not, or whether they are lying elsewhere. So these are the questions are there. Regarding the transportation cost, we are aware that like Mumbai, where the lead is bigger. So here the transportation cost is about the 2,000 to 3,000 per ton. In the rest of the MMR area, that may be ranging around that only, maybe the 1,000 to 2,000 per ton. So once you wet waste, we reduce that. We are stop at our society level or ward level, at least to that level we can process that, because we are aware that in the wet waste about the 60 to 70% is of moisture only. Rest of the mass, even if you know that the wet waste, if you composted that, only 15% will get that. 15 to 18% waste will get out of the total compost of that from the total waste generated. So we will reduce the 50 to 60% transportation cost there. And for dry waste, I suggest that you should have the centralized systems. Maybe the semi-automatic or automatic, maybe the optical sorting lines or etc. So where we can categorize the waste in maybe the 36 or more variety where the Hindus are doing like that. So we should have the centralized plant, and then in plant there may be all the rack pickers who are the collectors or waste pickers are there, you can say. They can employ there, and we can have 80 to 85% we can dry waste, we can recycle that. Means once you collected the good amount of quantity and that like a thermocol or other things are there. And rest of the 20% we can shred it and then we can send it to the cement plants or otherwise one should MMR should at least have the waste incineration plant, at least one any MMR area, that is the common incineration plant is required. So it is a non-recyclable waste, plastic waste particularly, that can be discarded there, where their calorific value or their whatever the heat contains are, that can be utilized. And then furthermore the ash and fly ash, bottom ash can be again recycled. That is the message. Thank you.
Just one.
Yes, go ahead.
That is related with the sanitary waste. We don't talk about the sanitary waste, right? And that is one of the major issues that is coming down. Do we have a proper processing for that? That is actually this is a post is open.
Actually, as per in the rule, there is a provision actually. Every producer who is giving the sanitary materials, they have to give the pockets along with that material, and it is responsible to local body to collect separately and to treat it. There are a lot of actually technologies have been coming up, and they are doing some incineration and in situ. There are a lot of technologies are coming, but it is not validated by the Center for Municipal. That is the question. Validation of the technology
That is the
This is a chart which we have done about from in 12 months, that is 21st of October to 30th September, 46,609 kg of total dry waste we have collected from Thane Municipal Corporation. Maybe not more than 190 to 200 societies. That's all the figure is. Out of which everything is imported. About 275 waste collection drives till date today, and more than 1 lakh of kilo of plastic being collected from all over the dry waste are collected from all over the Thane. We conduct weekly drives every week. That is probably on Saturday or a Sunday, but most probably on Saturday. There is a weekly drive of dry waste collection. The route is published. The societies are registered with our organization, and that weekly drive goes on. The most beautiful part is that no money is charged for anything. This is a total NGO, a non-governmental organization. We go to the doorstep and collect. We do not tell them that you bring this to Armol or you bring this to near to the big bazaar. The vehicle goes to the doorstep of the society. The society is 1 or 2 members from each society are designated as coordinators. They are well informed, they are in wellness, they are into the coordination circle, and when the vehicle is going to reach is informed to them, they are in connection. The vehicle reaches, the person coordinator gives them a bag, which is maybe a big bag or huge bag. There are some pictures which I will show you. They are tagged. They are not only tagged, the weight is done. A proper receipt is given to every individual society. How much waste that you have given to us, total dry waste. Then that photograph is taken. That photograph is geotagged. Means you can ask me which society on which day and at what time we have collected a dry waste. We are able to give you all those things bearing some initial drives. There we were not regularly involved with these activities. We are not rather than scientifically evolved at that time. Then we conduct thermocol drive. I think we are the only organization in entire Thane Municipal Corporation area where we conduct thermocol drives. As we know, Most of the municipal corporation vehicles, particularly in Thane and even in Mumbai also, even in PCMC, that is Pune also and Pimpri-Chinchwad also, thermocol, nobody collects. So when this problem was incurred to us, we have started collecting thermocol, and every fortnight there is a thermocol drive and we collect thermocol. There is a criteria for that, which that is minimum 5 kg. To reduce the carbon footprint, we have to give us minimum 5 kg. Every society who contributes thermocol has to register with our drive 7 days in advance. He has to post the pictures of his thermocol collection drive on the site, and assessing the pictures we design which route is to be followed, and that vehicle, again here also the vehicle goes to the doorstep, collects the thermocol, weighs it, gives a weight receipt, photograph, and then the thermocol is sent to the MPCB or CPCB approved processor. Same way is the e-waste. When e-waste drives we conduct once in 2 months. They are also same. The criteria here is the same, 5 to 10 kgs, and we go to the doorstep, we collect, we give receipt, and then the e-waste is given to the CPCB or MPCB approval. These are the few pictures as development awareness to miniature landscape. Unfortunately, last 2 years of COVID, and even in spite of we not having any COVID now, Thane Municipal Corporation has not conducted any Vrikshavalli program, which is mandatory for all municipal corporations to conduct. So last 3 years we have been participating in getting awareness programs through Vrikshavalli. This is what we had miniature landscape for all the 3 years. We won 3 consecutive third prize. About 1.5 to 2 lakh people visit this exhibition. Our motto, our aim is to spread awareness program for solid waste management. These are few pictures of SWM awareness programs. We even conduct
2-4 महिने ते जरा गादा होतो, 2-4 पेपरला फोटो आला, 2-4 ठिकाणी भाषण केलं ना की झाला माझा प्रोग्राम संपला सगळं. मग परत नव्याने कोणते जर वेगळं काय कारण होतो. आमच्याकडे आम्ही चालू केलंय, पहिला योजना चालू 93 ला स्लम्स मध्ये ट्रायसिकल झोपडपट्ट्यामध्ये कचरा आहे. असं झोपडपट्ट्याचा कचरा काही बीएमसी जबाबदारी आहे का असं तुम्ही म्हणाल तर कधी कधी हो म्हणा, कधी कधी नाही म्हणा. बेसिकली कसं आहे, मुंबई शहर जे आहे मेट्रोपॉलिटन सिटीमध्ये एमएमआर रिजन आपण जर बघितलं असेल तर रेल्वेच्या लाईन्स आहेत. सेंट्रल
the waste is feed into the digester, which has had the process is hydrolysis and acetogenesis and finally methanogenesis, and that methane is taken out to a kind of a storage, and from there it is go through with the process of filtration. So this is another diagram which shows that how it is. The vertical digester is there, and how the digestion takes place, and then electricity or heat or liquid fuel can be taken out. The digestate can be further treated and can be used as a kind of manure. So like these are the parameters on which these digesters work on. The pH is between 5.5 to 8.5. Temperature is 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. So most of the plants in India is a mesophilic type of digesters where the heating is not required because we are already a hot country. But some of the efficiency of a thermophilic kind of a digester is much better. So we have found that 1 or 2 of the for digestion of the waste. Then total solid content or organic loading content. The more the solids, then what will happen that the total volume of the digester chambers will reduce. So that has to be maintained at a certain percentage of more. And then the retention time is like 10 to 40 days. But it's mostly like it's a continuous process. Once the cycle is started, it will keep on generating the gas. So these are the digestion process characteristics. The feed can be wet or dry.
So dry is not like a totally dry, it's a kind of a semi-dry material. But in a wet process in India is more common, where the waste is being first churned out and then it's mixed with water and the full slurry is being fed into the system. Then batch process, somewhere the batch process are there, but mostly it's like as a continuous process is more popular. Then the process stage we have found like as some of the let's say it's only single digester is working as a digester. Then mesophilic and thermophilic, which we have already talked about, but mostly like as in India 90% of the plants are mesophilic. So advantage is like methane recovery is an alternative fuel, we know that, and reduces production of landfill gas. If the same thing is going at the landfill, this gas is going to come out sooner or later. It's not going to be like as it will remain in the landfill. So we say that we are taking it out, but and burning it. It is a better option than putting it into the landfill. The sludge occupies less volume, so the sludge which is coming out, rather it is, I would say that it's almost like as a kind of a neutral. Whatever sludge is coming out can be used as a manure. Then operating cost is lower in comparison to some other technologies. Then there are certain things are disadvantages are also there. The heavy metals is one, the pathogens is another. So there is a possibility or the risk that these things will go back to our food chain through soil application. So that is one of the disadvantages that we have to look at it. Then hydrogen sulfide and impurities in gas. So what has happened that quality is one of the issues which we have found that CBG
So this is the portfolio. If we talk about the portfolio, we are the indicated terms annual turnover. It's kind of that we are the largest one in terms of hazardous waste, catering to 62% of the hazardous waste. We are present in all the states, including Maharashtra, which is the largest hazardous waste facility, largest biomedical facilities just next to door. It is in Taloja. Then it's like municipal solid waste. We are catering to 30% of the total waste shares. We are waste to energy is roughly around, we target to have 220 megawatt of power. Then biomedical, recycling and integrated environmental solutions. The entire focus is on getting into circular economy. One source can be part of the raw material to the other source. One material of the wet waste can become a part of the CBG, and that CBG can reduce the reduction of the diesel consumption to transport the vehicles. It can be just used back in the same facility to see that how CBG trucks can move around within the facility, because in the facility itself you need at least 30 to 40 vehicles or equipment which requires. So can the same waste be generated into a part of the CBG? So to minimize the waste generation and maximize the waste value creation, to increase the recycling and resource recovery, to reduce extraction of resources demand from virgin materials, and to promote usage of recovered and recycled materials. So these are the things which are the part of the key ESG goals and that help in decarbonization, which are getting part of the sustainable development goals, either in the form of affordable and clean energy, either in the form of industrial innovation and infrastructure, or sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water and life on land. So these, through waste management, we can and we are trying to achieve this 7 of the sustainable development goals which is there. If we calls about the focus of the resource recovery, then obviously this I have already explained that this comes as the part of the resources, how different waste can be taken over. If we talk about the activities related to circular economy through RESL, RESL is Re-Sustainability Limited. Then in the last year, total RDF for municipal solid waste was, we focused on generation of RDF from municipal solid waste. We focused on taking about high calorific hazardous waste which can be given to the cement industries in the form of AFR. Roughly around 44 megawatt of waste to power is under operation. 3 more plants are under construction. We collected roughly around 300 tons of ash, bottom ash coming out from the waste which was of no use and it was just going to landfills. We recovered it and we sent it for construction material. We also have, we don't have a certification right now, but we also contributed to the, this ash was used in as a part of the on parliament which was being made. Some pavement blocks were made of these ash. It was a very small one, but the idea was to give that ash to make those pavement blocks. Recycling of plastics while manufacturing bags from waste collection. The plastics which comes through the part of the waste management is also being converted into green bags which is being supplied for collection of the biomedical waste. Recycling of C&D waste. Recycling of ELB. This is one such particular sector which is coming up very big in India, that all the vehicles which is more than 15 years needs to be put to end of life vehicles, that is called ELB. Recovery of salt from some industrial waste. Resource conservation through alternate reagents and leachate treatment. Leachate treatment, we experiment with all the types of, for any waste, the most critical part and the most difficult part is leachate. Right from generation to the transportation, it is the leachate or the liquid or the moisture which carries and waste, and all the cost goes in handling that. So if the leachate is properly handled, segregation happens, then most of the waste management problem gets minimized. So that is so complex that it needs either the technologies, there are several technologies, because since it's a mix of so many things, so it has got treated through MBR, through ME, ATFD and RO. And we are also trying to go into lithium-ion batteries recycling. In terms of quantification, if we talk of what was the total quantification for the last, so these are the per metric tons, like 83,000 tons was the compost manufactured through various facilities across the country. RDF to cement roughly around 1,62,000, RDF to energy production roughly around 10,49,000 of the RDF which was generated was consumed in the waste to power. And this is what is the challenge, because RDF is there. RDF is there in two forms. One is that when it comes to fresh waste, it has got higher, better calorific value. But when it comes to the legacy waste, lot of the RDF which has got a lot of silt and has got its calorific value reduced. But even if you get and if you put lot of energy to recover the best of the used ballistic separator, you put so many other heat material to see the best quality of RDF material, but where to dispose of, how far the cement industries, that is where the consumption goes. So RDF, the solution, the problem how to handle RDF is a bigger challenge. Then CBG is generated roughly around 47.5 metric ton. Energy production, it is a win-win situation for every alternate resource material coming out from this to be used for a productive or a value-added source. So this is a novel approach to turn waste to a valuable product or to energy. Energy either in the form of RDF or in the form of power or in the form of CBG or in the form of any other which can be a source further to generate some other material. And these are many methods, like you have a biological method, you have a thermochemical method of MSW. I think few things have already been discussed. What was not talked about was ethanol. Ethanol can be used in vehicles after blending of the gasoline from the engine. So one person was asking about the agricultural waste being used. So that is how this can be used as a part of circular economy. We as a company are not into it, but we intend to be there also. Biogas, obviously our friend has already spoken a lot about it. There is also a possibility of generating hydrogen out of it, recovery of hydrogen things, synthetic diesel and RDF. Now coming back to how it goes, is it happening or is it it's a lip service? But this is what is the photo as on today at Jawahar Nagar in Hyderabad. This was a 332 acres of land.
These are the sheds where you have the compost going on. Then you have a leachate treatment plant. And the rooftop is having a solar power plant. I think this data was explained. If you see any city, today when we talk of planning, we say 3%, 4% it grows. But believe me, initial years will show only 1, 2, 3, 4% growth. But when you have a full-fledged plant operational, it will go up to 10 to 15% population. This waste quantity grows. The normal population grows, but because of the economic activity, the more the waste is getting generated. So on an average, it is 10% quantities growth, and this is how this data is showing. Only in the year there was a fall because of the COVID. One aerial view, how does the compost section look? The plant was the aerial view, this is how it looks like. These are the windrows. It was being explained by Professor Garg, that how it works. So this is how the plants, this is the compost thing. These are the other parts of the P&D, like the reception area, the pre-segregation and sorting, windrow composting, post-segregation, refinement section, RDF, lab. Lab is an essential part. You cannot run a waste processing facility without a lab. Again, I would like to quote Mr. Tendulkar saying that even if suppose inert material is to go out, unfortunately none of our tenders do talk of how the rejects should go where. None of the tenders talks that who will certify this quality of our rejects do have a heavy metal or not. And what are we doing? We are transporting in the terms of the rejects to some place called low-lying area and thereby polluting that further area. Nobody is checking. So this is the lab accredited by NABL and MOEF. Then you have a plastic recycling plant, you have a leachate treatment plant, biomethanation plant, CBG plant and waste. So this leachate treatment plant is a low evaporation leachate treatment plant. Here the water evaporates at 56 degrees centigrade. It sounds very hazy. 100 degree में तो normal पानी उबलता है. But here the water evaporates at 56 degree temperature with all the impurities present into it. This is the biomethanation plant. The biomethanation plant here is basically for the agricultural waste, for the vegetable market waste which is coming up. So this is the segregated biomethanation plant, and it is what Mr. Alok was saying, that there is a challenge in biomethanation plant that you have to have a segregation. Once you have a decentralized plant, you can manage it. But if it is a standalone plant, there is a challenge that you should get segregated waste for the treatment and disposal. A few of the photos as to waste to energy plant. Two of the plants are right now is operational. One in Delhi and the other in Hyderabad. So these are the plants, and these are all in India. This is that photo already our colleague has shown, that this is a landfill capping where the gas extraction was happening and biogas was there. And this is how it looks like. Why we are saying that we need only land for some purpose, reclaimment land and some construction? Why can't this, if suppose today, I don't know, I don't have much idea of what Mumbai is, but suppose if it is Mulund and suppose if it is Deonar, if you have a green park all around, it is a recreational area. The property value all around will change like drastically. It's just a matter of maintenance. There is nothing, no harm in that. But what we always say that if you get land, let it be like beautiful like this. I know it's, but subject to, do we need to create a further dumping ground? No. Parallelly, we should have a fresh treatment plant so that we further don't create a dumping ground. But if this dumping ground is to be kept, let it be kept at a beautiful green golf course. Maintain it like that. I think in Delhi we have this in the press, Dr. Jagmohan had created one, and that park is today known as Indraprasth Park. It was also a dumping ground. It's like in Salai Khale Khan area, those who know Delhi. Sustainability, energy, when we talk of basically as an energy, this is the what has been done, like one biogas generates 48 tons of compressed biogas. Solar plant generates about 225 megawatt of power, and 2 WT about 336 billion units of electricity, and obviously 22% of our fleet fuel has been substituted through the gas. So these are the few photos, already this has been shown, and you see this kind of fleet engaged, and this is not one of them. There are roughly around 126 fleet moving around the city of Hyderabad. These are specifically designed and calibrated with our inputs to the manufacturers, that is Haiwa and Bharat Benz. Bharat Benz makes the generally the Benz vehicle is known for car, but we have had a tie-up to see that these vehicles should be specifically designed, so the city garbage also should be carried in Benz vehicle. We wanted to intend like that, but then the intent was that this should be look beautiful. The city should also get. Mr. Dalvi was asking that how many of us segregate करके डाल रहे हैं. It was in Marathi, but I could easily sense out that कि two bins तो है, but segregate कितना करते हो? Very few hands were raised. The speed stock is right from generation, storing to the transportation. Is a bigger challenge. And if the feed stock to a plant is not correct, not timed, not ensured that every day it goes. Like say every day we take balanced food diet. If one day today सावंत साहब ने हमें खूब सारा लंच खिला दिया, 2 दिन के बाद भूखे रहेंगे क्या? नहीं रहेंगे. तो वो बैलेंस, तो उस प्लांट को फीड स्टॉक क्वांटिटी एंड क्वालिटी इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर फॉर दिस प्लांट टू सक्सीड. And that is why when we talk of integrated waste management, we mean कि आप मुझे ये पूरा घर दे दो, मैं आज इसकी सफाई करूंगा, उधर वो रख लूंगा, कल वहां रख लूंगा वो. बट प्रॉब्लम क्या है, जो प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिंग हो रही है वो आज बायोगैस का अलग हो रहा है, वेस्ट टू एनर्जी का अलग हो रहा है, आरडीएफ का अलग हो रहा है, लैंडफिल का अलग हो रहा है. इस वजह से ना वो समस्या ही रह जा रही है. और डिसेंट्रलाइज में यही प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है कि ठीक है वो तो बंदा करेगा, बट बेचारा जिस दिन नहीं करेगा उस दिन क्या होगा, वो कहां फेंकेगा अपना रिजेक्ट्स, वो तो पता चलेगा किसी नाले में डाल दिया या किसी ट्रक में डाल दिया. So quantity feedstock. Second is the distribution challenge. You know, in Hyderabad for the last 1.5 years our biogas is getting generated, but Indraprasth Gas Limited, Bhagyanagar Gas Limited, sorry, who is the distributor of that plant, of that area, is unable to put one grid pithead from where we can take. So distribution is the challenges. Taxation challenges. This is another problem. Then you have infrastructure challenges. You don't get infrastructure placed. Pricing challenges. Right now, the LPG which we or the CNG what we are getting at home is at 92 rupees per liter. But under Satat program, very off late it was 56 rupees. With so much of trouble which you are generating, you are trying to find out a solution, and what the government is ready to pay is 56 rupees. It's nowhere, no? Why should it be? We are treating the waste, whomsoever, either I treat it or you treat it or anybody to treat it. Anybody is there, it can only be economical, no, nothing comes free. It can only become free when if it is got the pricing, proper pricing. With such vast differences in the processes and everything, Satat should have a differential prices. Again, then you have many other challenges like potential of gas generation is high from older. We have to see the complete footprint of biomining, converting the land, of the processes involved, and then balance about that whether biogas generated from the biomass, because all this land, because of the climatic condition, especially in the Western Ghats, or the region this Mumbai has, it has got very huge potential of biogas compared to just lifting and doing it. So that study, maybe Institute of Chemical Technology, or there are eminent professors sitting here, they can think about which is the balance, which is the correct method. Similarly on the RDF rules, RDF disposal and waste, it very clearly says that all industrial units using fuel located within 100 km from solid waste fuel, RDF plant should make arrangement with 6 months from the date of notification of the rules to replace at least 5% of the fuel required by RDF so produced. What does it mean? 2016 these rules were there. In that rule it was very clearly mean that whether any city or any such boiler who are using coal or any other fuel should convert their boiler to fit the requirement of RDF. This was the direction as per rule. How many such has happened, and will that happen? Whether our capability of, because most of the boiler manufacturers, if you list down in India, there are 15, 16. We have been interacted, I will not name the company of the boiler, but it is a known name. Is that we have been trying to say that boss तुम boiler अपना थोड़ा change कर लो, dual burner बना लो, they are hell bound, they are funded to, they have their own arrangement with the foreign companies, they don't want India to come out of this. So there is a bigger politics which we don't understand. But why these boilers? How? Who will take it? बेचारा जो बहुत मुश्किल से वो hardly उसका 2 करोड़ का investment में वो boiler इतना change करेगा क्या? Where will this RDF go? Now the RDF transportation has to happen. One truck which is of 16 metric ton can carry only 7 metric ton of RDF because of the high volume. Now to convert into small volume of small cakes, you need further energy pumping. You need the dust to be removed. By doing so, the calorific values goes down. So where will that RDF go? So these are the very technical, practical problems which I don't know whether I should tell her, but it should be told to the public. So these are the problems which are the issue is that if Mahua issues guideline or RDF issues for more favorable to cement industry in terms of quality and financials, this needs to review in view of the MSW processing. There are huge costs involved to meet the quality of RDF guideline. Now government of Central Pollution Control Board and Ministry is trying to further make that the RDF should be minimum 3000 kilocalories requirement with some quality checkup. That's a good thing, but then they can't expect that if 3000 kilocalories